Let's start here. I have your top 5 sniper supports inside of Warzone right now. This is both statistically and all-purpose reasons, so you can take these right into the battlefield today and absolutely start dominating. Let's get into it. Up first, we have one that is a staple for a sniper support all the way through Modern Warfare 3's Warzone, and that is the MCW Jack Raven. So that is the conversion kit for the MCW rifle, and it is a weapon that has seen a lot of buffs all the way through Warzone. So we're looking here at the Quartermaster Suppressor, the MCW Cyclone Barrel. This gives you firing stability, bullet velocity, range, and aiming idle sway. 40-round mag because this thing burns absolutely through bullets quickly. One of the only weapons that can use the Jack Cutthroat and receive a bonus for your recoil control. Even though it states a negative, it still gives you a bonus. And then, of course, running the Jack Raven kit. This weapon has a 600 millisecond TTK up to, I think, about 25 meters, whatever its effective damage range is, 23.4 meters, making it one of the fastest TTK weapons up to 23 meters in the game. Oh, no other weapon really competes with this. This is actually faster than even the Jackal and all the other SMGs right now running from Black Ops 6, meaning if you are effective with this weapon, you will absolutely dominate up close and up to mid-range. And still, this one I'm considering number 5, and just for a couple of little reasons you should know. The rate of fire means fast bullets out, means you're gonna have to reload this a lot, and the current system missing the Modern Warfare 3 default perks, meaning you reload slower and there's no way to speed it up. This weapon is gonna get caught in reloads frequently and be a little problematic. A reload speed of 2,833 milliseconds, which is 2.8 seconds. I don't know why they're doing everything in milliseconds, but here we are. But being caught in a reload or being caught off guard, either on a rotation or just running into a room with an SMG already aimed at you, you're still going to go down because the game is a extremely fast TTK, and unless you are just a really quick hip fire shot, which this still has good hip fire accuracy, you're probably going to lose the fight. So at least play a little bit more cautiously if you're going to choose to run the MCW's Jack Raven kit. Sniper supports are a strange category, where essentially enough the idea is they're a weapon that's supposed to do most of everything while supporting the action of being a sniper on the battlefield. I like to also refer to them as a jack-of-all-trades weapon. So even if you're not a sniper, these weapons are going to be super useful for you if you're looking for one weapon that's going to help you fight at most ranges reliably. Now, keep in mind, these are designed for medium and closer, meaning these are not going to be your extreme long-range weapons, but these are going to be the ones to bolster your fights from anywhere from 5 meters up to roughly 50 meters. So these are also amazing resurgence weapons as well. Number 2, and that is the WSP-9. The WSP-9, if you watched my best SMGs in the game video, it is one of the best SMGs in the game. It's one of the top 5 SMGs, not for just any reason. It actually ties the MCW for a 600 millisecond TTK, meaning it is the only other weapon that really just absolutely dominates inside of all of its effective ranges. But with that being said, unlike the MCW, its effective range is only 14.3 meters, and that's with this absolutely extended. Not necessarily the furthest it can go, but as far as I would recommend without taking some major either accuracy penalties or just overall movement speed penalties. I'm already taking some heavy movement speed penalties, having to run the Duster stock just to make this thing a little bit more reliable at the 14.3 and further builds, but this gun can pretty reliably hit up to 50 meters with pretty good accuracy if you are a good player. If you are an about average player, this one's going to get you about 25 meters, but for a sniper support, that's about what you're looking for. The weapon hits very hard, and it can come with some decent magazine sizes all the way up to 50. Again, with the reload debuffs inside of the game right now comparatively to Modern Warfare 3's Warzone, I probably wouldn't recommend the 50. You're going to want to go into some of these faster magazines just because the penalties for taking these bigger magazines, especially on the empty reload of 3.7 seconds, starts to get pretty hefty. So you're going to want to stick to probably the 32 and the 40 round mag and then reload before empty, or you're going to be stuck reloading a really long time. Again, just like the MCW, it has an exceptional hipfire spread, so you're going to be able to run into buildings and just start firing at hipfire and hitting most of your shots. You're going to start hipfire and transition into ADS, and it's going to guarantee you to win almost every gunfight that you're not absolutely either double teamed, triple teamed, or just got caught from the back. Amazing weapon. We're going to go down to number 3, and it is the Striker 9. And there's been a lot of conversation about the Striker 9 around right now, and I want to double down on it. It also maintains the 14.7 meters of its effective damage range, meaning this one is going to be at its max damage only about up to there, but it still has has a really good TTK up until about 25 meters. Again, very similar to WSP9. The only reason I would actually rate this out a little bit higher than the WSP9 is I think that people are going to be finding it a lot more forgiving. The TTK is slower. This one only sits about 650 milliseconds, but it is a much higher rate of fire, and the higher rate of fire means you can make more accuracy penalties, just overall shots missed, and still not be punished as hard, whereas if you miss a couple of shots with the WSP9, you're going to absolutely feel it. This is the weapon where I'm going to probably do recommend the 50-round drum. This is the LR Flash Hider, which offers now the ability for damage range and firing aim stability. This makes it more accurate over range and do more damage over range, and it reduces the flash, so it makes it a little harder for people to see you firing. Running the Striker Elite Long Barrel, this is a recoil buff for you, and it still gives you a damage range bonus. The 50-round drum, the Seiken ZX Grip, this is recoil control and firing aim stability again, and then the high grain rounds just to top out that little bit of range that you're going to get on it as well. The combination of high grain rounds and LR Flash Hider with the Striker Elite gives you the second furthest range effectiveness. The only way you can get more is the Striker Recon Long Elite. If you can control the recoil on this, I would recommend it, but the Striker Elite is a little bit more forgiving, and so that's why I'm going to recommend it at that. And that one is our number 3 weapon. Again, so when we get down here to the number 2 weapon, you might be surprised to see that it's not a Modern Warfare 3 weapon. And this is my number 2 weapon, despite having the number 1 TTK of every weapon in the game right now, and that's only because this is an absolute skill cannon. This is a weapon that is only as good as the player is using it, despite the fact that it is an absolute numeric monster, a statistical anomaly inside of the Call of Duty series. This is a 575 millisecond TTK if you've got the trigger finger for it. This is running rapid fire, and the 11% buff is actually pretty decent when you get to a really good trigger finger. Most people are not going to actually be able to hit the 513 RPM limit, meaning you're not going to actually hit the 575 millisecond TTK. And with that being said, it actually drops even further if you're landing all headshots at that. The problem is, most people are not very effective with semi-auto weapons, which is one of the reasons why I left out the Lachmann 762, which is the only other weapon to reach this style of TTK. Now, the Lachmann 762 and the Goblin MK2 are both the fastest TTK and will remain the fastest TTKs in the game no matter what, because no one can reliably use them. With that being said, the Goblin is quite a bit easier to use than the Lachmann 762. So this is me giving myself a little bit of hope, and hopefully I can encourage somebody out there that is far better than myself or most other players that can get a hold of this gun and absolutely demolish, because again, this is a statistical anomaly. It is an absolute monster, and when you get the shots with this, you will be destroying lobbies. So that's me recommending the Goblin MK2 to anybody that wants to absolutely challenge themselves to have the best TTK in the game. We're running the Jason Armory 2X. This gives a 44% recoil reduction for its kick. It's insane. Well, it's a 30%, but in combination with the compensator, it goes up to 44%. The long barrel to push its effective damage range out to 64 meters. That means 55 to the body, 60 to the head, up to 64 meters, meaning you'll get that 570 millisecond TTK up to 64 meters. People will not know what deleted them if you land those shots. Extended Mag 1 only because Extended Mag 2 slows you down a whole lot, and a 4.1 second reload is absolutely terrible. So we're going to drop it down to a 3.8 and hope we survive. And then of course, finally, the rapid fire mod. Now, before we move into my number 1 weapon, I'm going to give you a little bit of a caveat. So we've already covered the MCW, which is an absolute monster, and it's hard to contest this. And so the MCW, again, is one of the best choices I'd recommend for almost anyone, along with the WSP9. We step into the Striker 9 to be a little bit more forgiving, and then we show off the Goblin for those of you that are just absolutely trying to push your limits to have the best TTK, most lethal weapon inside the game. Now, final weapon, this is going to be the one I recommend to most players, because most players are not going to be movement demons. And so if you are not absolutely just cracked out of your mind with movement, and you're wanting something that is not just reliable close, but long range too, and you're king of all weapons style of choice, meaning that even with your sniper rifle, you're probably going to still lean into that one rifle all the time. If you watched my best long range weapons video, you're going to be familiar with this guy. And I think right now that this is probably the most statistically underrated weapon, and still probably one of the best weapons in the game that no one is using, and that is the TAQ Eradicator. The TAQ Eradicator still has an absolutely insane TTK, and I don't know why people aren't using this thing. I'm running this with the Jack Glassless to give us a clean sight. If you like the overall irons on this, drop it and put on the bullet velocity barrel. It won't disappoint you. Running with the X10 Binate Suppressor. This gives you no longer a ping on the minimap. It gives you overall firing stability out the wazoo. It buffs your ADS speed. Run it with the mini underbarrel that gives you the recoil control and firing aim stability. I'm running the GRV short grip just because no one ever really ran it before and I just wanted to see it on a gun. The 45 round mag because this is going to give you movement speed, ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, and reload quickness. All things that we're suffering from right now inside of the game. The TAQ Verte core stock. This is going to give you recoil control, firing aim stability, and gun control kick. And essentially enough, what you end up with is a weapon that in full auto is going to drop people in about 630 milliseconds. And that is on par, if not better, than every SMG inside of the game right now that is from the Black Ops series. It's on par or better than every AR in the Black Ops series. It's on par or better than every one of the marksman rifles in the Black Ops series. And what I'm getting to is that the TAQ Eradicator pretty much beats anything from the Black Ops series. And then the only things that outshoot it right now are the MCW and the SP9 as far as weapons that aren't an insane skill cannon like the Goblin, the FTAC Recon, or the Lightman 762, making this an absolute monster of a weapon. It can be converted into any style weapon that you want. They have hipfire builds, they have the tac stance builds, they have the crossbar builds, so you can run around with it being held just out like you're trying to Rambo stuff. It's got quick builds, long builds, it does everything. And then on top of that, if you're not familiar with it, again, the weapon does more damage in single shot. So even if you're looking for one that does more damage every time you fire it in single shot, this is a gun for you too. It literally does everything, and I don't know why no one is talking about the TAQ Eradicator. So let me right now just tell you, use the TAQ Eradicator. I don't care if it's your AR, your LMG, your SMG, your sniper support. Please try the TAQ Eradicator. It is one of the best guns in the game, and you're sleeping on it if you have avoided it this far. I know a lot of people want to run the Black Ops weapons, and I would love to recommend them, but right now, if you are looking for the best of the best inside of the game, and you're tired of just dying a bunch of times, these are your choices, especially right now with the game leaning towards running one primary and then buying a second one later. The TAQ Eradicator will not fail you. It is an absolute monster. If you're looking for the faster speeds, run the MCW's Jack Raven. And if you're looking to fill in the gap on an AR build or a short range sniper build for Resurgence, PSP9, challenge yourself with the Goblin. And I hope y'all have yourselves a wonderful time. I hope this has helped you. I have a bunch of rundowns on the weapons right now. I'm going to put a couple of videos over here on the side if you want to check those out. Most recent ones are the best sniper and the best SMGs, so check those out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I would love to cover anything that you're wanting help with inside of Black Ops or inside of Warzone. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.